Alright, we're back, and it's been less than 2 weeks this time. Are you proud of me yet, Dad? But we are back to talk about the Bleach manga once again as we travel into the Arrancars nest of Hueco Mundo. Ichigo, Uryu, and Chad have disobeyed the Soul Society's best wishes to save their friend because that's what friends do. Has Ichigo progressed far enough into his holification training to be able to take down Espadas? Are Uryu and Chad on captain level now? Will Orihime leave Hueco Mundo safely, and will we find out what her powers are based on? I guess we will see by starting out with some quick hits. These quick hits are actually going to be pretty quick this time. Forgive me for the long hits of the last video. The structure of the fights in Hueco Mundo is pretty good. It heavily reminds me of a Mortal Kombat arcade ladder. Each character has their own ladder to climb, Ichigo, Uryu, and Chad, etc., with the difficulty increasing with each battle. They start off fighting non-numbered Arrancars, then move up to former Espada, then wrap it up with their personal/team battles against current Espada. It's a great way to show off their exact strength level and let the audience know these aren't the same guys we saw back in the Soul Society. The actual setting of Hueco Mundo is kind of plain due to it being a big desert area with a couple of very rectangular buildings here and there. The actual Las Noches is a little bit better due to it being shaped like a giant hamster contraption, fitting for the characters because they're running around like mice. I will offer that the bland setting offers for greater appreciation of the actual character and creature designs, so it really comes down to what you prefer in your manga, the actual background and panel design, or the characters and creature design itself. Now that I have hit on all the tiny things I liked about this arc, let's go on to the bigger plot points. I mentioned in the introduction of my last video how Ichigo and the Espada are two sides of the same exact coin. Espada started out as hollows who were once human, lost their humanity, had to kill and consume other hollows to gain some of it back. Alongside power, Ichigo started as a human, became a Soul Reaper, which is basically a spirit cop, and now has begun to forego his humanity to become more like a hollow in exchange for power to defeat his adversaries. My favorite use of the human becomes animal and animal becoming human theme was in Hunter x Hunter during the Chimera Ant arc, where we saw the King Meruem slowly become more human throughout the course of the arc, and the actual humans themselves become more ravenous, deciding they must kill him without considering he may be an agent of good. While in this arc we don't go that far with most of the Espada, we are shown that they have human emotions too. But the difference from Bleach and Hunter x Hunter is that Ichigo, Chad, and Uryu can spot the humanity in Arrancars they face when they first arrive at Hueco Mundo. Ichigo, Chad, and Uryu each fight one of the 100 numbered Arrancars, which are former Espada. They are able to dispatch each of them, but when it comes time to deliver finishing blows, they refuse, seeing the human qualities within them. These aren't mindless hollows like they used to defeat back in Karakura Town in the first 70 chapters of the manga. These guys and girls have a conscious and free will. We even see that later when the 100 level Arrancar Ichigo fought attempts to stop the execution squad from pursuing Ichigo. The biggest moment where the question of humanity comes into play is the third fight between Ichigo and Grimmjow. After having been literally murdered by Ulquiorra and healed by Orihime, Ichigo is able to last longer in his visored form. This could be taken as Ichigo being reborn into a more demonic figure and letting his humanity go to save Orihime. This point is given further evidence when Ichigo blocks a blast from Grimmjow that was targeting Orihime, and she sees him for the first time in the mask, and it scares her. She begins to doubt if the person she sees fighting before her is truly Ichigo or a monster among men. From reader enjoying the narrative at face value, I grew frustrated with Orihime because he is in this position where he has to use said mask because of her. But I digress. From the perspective of the viewer of the story, and knowing that all Ichigo wants to do is be a hero for the people he loves, for him to be seen as an animal asks the greatest question that mankind has ever been asked. What is the price you are willing to pay for power? Then you have Grimmjow, who gets a very extensive flashback into how he became the beast he is today, wandering across Hueco Mundo for extensive lengths of time, killing and devouring over 3,000 hollows on his quest to become an Espada. But being Espada wasn't enough for him. He wanted to be the top of the food chain, a near godlike figure that no being could look down upon. Grimmjow is what happens when that drive for power completely consumes you. It's why he clashed with Ulquiorra so often despite no antagonizing from the number 4. Just him having the status of 4 to Grimmjow 6 was enough to set him off and have a burning hatred for that man. Whether for good or for evil, that price can cost you everything. Family, friends, wealth, and even health. All for the sake of having power to do as you wish. Ichigo has given up this much of his humanity already, and that was only enough to beat the 6th strongest Espada. So how much more will he have to forego in order to defeat some of the Espada of greater stature, like his current hurdle, Ulquiorra, and the final boss of the series at this point, Aizen. Battles, fights, wars, competition. This section is the ultimate Mortal Kombat ladder climb that the Soul Society was, except this time there is no background mystery going on. There are a lot of different fights in this part, and a lot of them are just battles to show off new abilities and don't build new characterization for our cast and crew, but the ones I enjoyed the most did a decent amount of both. Of course there's the grand main event I mentioned in the humanities section, but I'm gonna save that for last just like the manga did. Starting off with the first fight I enjoyed in this section, which was Uryu versus Chiruchi. Don't ask me how to pronounce that correctly because it's too damn hard. There was a chance to show that Uryu is on the level of some of the Arrancars and compete with the Espada. Chiruchi had an interesting tactic versus a bow user, which was to utilize space and pace to keep him at bay. Uryu showed her that he wasn't just a one-trick pony anymore by using his little lightsaber to close the gap and make her believe that his only dangerous range was up close. When she switches stances to be more powerful in the close range, he shows her that the lightsaber doubles as a super arrow and pierces her guard and provides a quick W. Uryu gets to show off the fruits of his labor from training with his pops, and he proves that he isn't the same cold-hearted man he was when he first met Ichigo. Character growth, baby! My second favorite fight of the arc actually takes place after my favorite, but it's worth mentioning. It's Minatora versus Ichigo, Nell, and Kenpachi. This fight was the one that introduced the cavalry into Hueco Mundo, bringing 3 captains into the fold, and we watched them body all of their opponents. The fight specifically was great because this was the highest rank Espada dropped off, with it being the numero 5. Ichigo's injured from his previous battle, so he's easily out of commission and we need someone to step up to fight Minatora. Enter Little Nell turning into Big Nell. We see that Nell was a former Espada who was severely injured by Minatora, and she was pretty highly ranked as the 3rd best Espada, which is even crazy considering the highest rank we have seen in action so far is Ulquiorra, who is only number 4. Nell proved that she was that damn strong back in her prime by competing and slapping up number 5 before she lost her abilities due to awakening her Zanpakuto. But be afraid not, because big Kenpachi Zaraki rolls in smelling all kinds of blood in the water like the shark that he is. He and Minatora have very similar abilities with Iron Body, eye patches hiding secrets, and a thirst for murder that only they truly share. It was pretty quick but intense and eventful, with Kenpachi showing that even when the fight is important to the safety of the universe, his fulfillment comes first. That's great characterization to me. Alright, now time for the big boy. Grimmjow versus Ichigo 3. So this fight saw Ichigo get pushed to his limit against an incredibly formidable opponent and open gates he considered locked. No longer does he hold a 10-second time limit for his holification technique, and he fights with a newfound aggression to save his friends. During the fight, Grimmjow even hints that Ichigo actually has a love for fighting deep down and enjoys the competition of it, or else he wouldn't have gotten as strong as he has at this point. Grimmjow is just an animal who loves the fight and the power that it comes along with it, but his journey up the ladder to be the greatest puts him at risk to die every time, and he has willingly accepted that fate. Ichigo takes him to his defeat but does not kill him because he respects his warrior spirit, which wounds Grimmjow deeper than being killed in battle. By showing respect to Grimmjow, in his mind, Ichigo disrespects the number 6. This man has got to be the iciest character in the series without even really trying. He is 900 steps ahead of everyone in this series off the strength of his intelligence alone, and the only real downfall to his stratagem is his hubris. Despite figuring out that the Soribers have put together a plan to create a fake Karakura town, he still plays along because he believes that his top 4 Espadas plus himself are more than enough to defeat all of the remaining members of the 13 Court Guard squad and take over the real Karakura town. The only person who can really stop him is himself. We see that he never actually needed Orihime, but is attempting to separate the Soul Society's forces to conquer the town and take the souls much easier. He played Orihime all the way into making her think that she had a chance to see and try to heal the Hokyoku, to the point where Orihime thought that maybe she had a chance to destroy it. Then after that, he actually murdered Ichigo by sending Ulquiorra to kill him, and then after that, took 3 of their most battle-ready captains out of commission by trapping them in Hueco Mundo. Aizen was really smoking on that Soul Society pack. His energy is elite, and his presence is felt even when he's not on the screen because these immensely powerful Espada even bow down to him and fear the godly nature of Aizen despite kicking the main cast around. Just how powerful is Aizen? I guess we'll find out very soon. So Ichigo died, came back real Lazarus style, and has seemingly increased his holification duration in the process. Despite reaching Orihime and nearly saving her from Hueco Mundo with the help of the captains, she was whisked back into the depths of Las Noches, where she is personally guarded by Ulquiorra. Aizen and the rest of the Espada have left for the fake Karakura town to fight the remaining 13 Court Guard squad members and find where they have hidden the real Karakura town. He sealed off the entirety of Hueco Mundo so that those who are still there cannot join the forces of the main squadron in the fake Karakura town. Will Ichigo have the strength to be able to defeat Ulquiorra this time around, despite Ulquiorra never even awakening his Zanpakuto against him and killing him? Can the Soul Society hold off Aizen and his forces long enough for the teams in Hueco Mundo to return? Is Orihime going to play a pivotal role in this upcoming war? I guess we will have to find out when we reach the conclusion of the entire Arrancar arc next time. Thanks for watching, be sure to tune in next week for the next Road to the 1000 Year Blood War arc review.